Good morning, children. Today we are continuing lesson 1, development. In the last class we discussed about the ambitions of the people, and different people are having different kinds of ambitions or aspirations. For example, rural laborers, they have ambitions, and the prosperous farmers, they have one ambition according to their income. According to their capacity, they will think their ambitions. For example, I told you, if a landless farmer, what he will think, I want to buy a land. If the landowners, what they will think, I want to buy the tractor. I want to buy the modern method machineries to the plant and to the land. And if the urban area woman, what she will think, she want to lead a comfortable life in the city. And urban man, what he will think, he want to get a very good job in the city. Like this, everybody is having their own ambitions, right? That we discussed in the last class. Today we are going to discuss about the national development. So, if we have seen above, the individuals seek different goals, then their notion of development is also likely to be different. Discuss among yourself on what India should do for development. Most likely you would find that different students in the class have given different answers to the above question. In fact, you might yourself think of many different answers and not be too sure of any of this. It is very important to keep the mind that different persons could have different as well as conflicting notions of a country's development. See, if we discuss with the friends or in the class, everybody will say in a different way of development. How our nation will develop means everybody will give the different answers for that. So, however, can all the ideas be considered equally important? Or, if there are conflicts, how does one decide? What would be the fair and just path for all? We also have to think whether there is a better way of doing things. Would the idea benefit a large number of people or only a small group? National development means thinking about these questions. See, national development means we should not think about the comparing the nations. We should think in what way we can develop our nation. If everybody is giving a same idea, that will not work out, right? If conflicts are there, that is also not possible to implement there. And if the ideas is better way of doing the nation, that means they will think in a different way of improving our nation or developing our nation. That may help us. It is not only developing the people, it also develops our nation. That way we should think. These things can be accepted. So before thinking that, development depends upon the people. How the people develop themselves as well as to the, that will help for them as well as to the nation. Okay, here they have given some activities here. They have given one picture. Discuss the following situations. Look at the picture on the right side. What should be the development goals for such an areas? See, here they have given a big building, that is apartment. Next to that, slum areas are there. Some huts are there. Read the newspaper report and answer these questions that follow. A vessel dumped 500 tons of liquid toxic wastes into open air dumps in a city and in the surrounding sea. This happened in a city called Abidjan in Ivory Coast, a country in Africa. The fumes from the highly toxic waste caused nausea, skin rashes, fainting, diarrhea, etc. After a month, 7 persons were dead, 20 in hospital and 26,000 treated for symptoms of poisoning. A multinational company dealing in petroleum and metal had contracted a local company of the Ivory Coast to dispose the toxic waste from its ship. See, what is the priority of this? That you have to think. How we have, see, that is the reason they have given you. Who are the people who benefited and who did not? Who are the people? Those who are working there, they will get benefit. Papa, those who are living near to that, They are not getting any food, they will get the diseases. So what should be the development goal for this country? One way it is spoiling, one way it is developing. So it will be bad. It is not so easy. So what can we do? Some of the development goals for your village, towns or locally. Just we have to think what we can do better for this. Okay. So here also one more activity they have given. If even the idea of what constitutes development can be varied and conflicting, then certainly there can be differences about the ways of developing. If you know of such controversy, try to find out arguments advanced by the different people. You may do so by taking different persons, or you may find it from newspapers and televisions. So everybody is having the different opinions. If it is controversy, try to find the arguments advanced by the different people. So you may do so talking different persons. So if we are talking with others, we will come to know the difference of opinion with the people. If whatever I want to say, if I am keeping in my mind, that will not helpful for us. I must discuss with others. Then only I will come to know that, oh, this is the way he is thinking. This is the way I have to think. Right? These are all the difference of opinion in the national development. So next we move on to the how to compare different countries or states. That means how we are comparing the states. See here, the second point, how to compare different countries or states. You might ask if development can mean different things. How come some countries are generally called developed and others underdeveloped? Before we come to this, let us consider another question. So immediately if we ask some questions to them, they will divide the countries. Those things are developed countries. This is underdeveloped countries. Like that they will divide it. How it is possible? How we will consider that? Before that we have one more question is here. When we compare different things, they could have some similarities as well as differences. Which aspects do we use to compare them? Let us look at students in the class itself. How do we compare different students? They different in their height, health, talents and interests. The healthiest student may not be the most studious one. The most intelligent student may not be a friendliest one. So how do we compare students? The criterion we may use depends upon the purpose of comparison. We use different criterion to choose a sports team, a debate team, a music team or a team to organize a picnic. Still, if for some purpose we have to choose the criterion on the all-round progress of children in the class, how shall we do it? For example, when we compare the different things, they could have some similarities are there as well as we compare them. So let us look the students in our class. So I want to compare the students. How can I compare with them? Because everybody is not same. Everybody is not intelligent. Everybody is not A+ students. And right, but those who are very good in studies, they may not good in sports. Those who are very good in sports, they may not very good in education. That is academics. So we should compare in that way. That is the reason why we are selecting. So if I want to give one practice for song, I want to give one song for your practice. So what I will do, first I will take some students to test their voices. Then I will decide, oh, these students are very good in singing. So I will select some of the students for the singing purpose. If some are very good in sports, what we will do, we will select those children for the sports. Some are very good in academics, we will select them for the debates. Like this, we are categorizing the students. Right? In the same way, when we are thinking about our nation also, we have to categorize ourselves. Is it clear? Usually, we take one or more important characteristics of a person or compare them based on these characteristics. Of course, there can be differences about what are important characteristics that should from the basis of comparison. Friendliness and spirit of cooperation creative or marks scored. See, when we are comparing them, first we will think what is the difference between them. Everybody is having their own characters. Some are very friendly. Easily they will talk to everyone, easily they will get with others, everything. Some, they are very reserved. They don't want to talk. They don't know how to react with their actions. So that is the nature of the students, or nature of the persons. So this will be give some differences in the students. Some are very cooperative. Whatever you say, yes ma'am, we will do it. I can do. I will do with her. I will do with him. That means they have a very good cooperation with them. So with that only we can say that creativity are, some are very good in creativity. Whatever you say, immediately they will do it. The creativity will be there in some students. And some are very good in scoring marks. Some children, they will not read, but they will get good marks. How it is possible? Because of the concentration. Once they read, no, they can recall. Some, they will read 100 times, 10 times, 12 times to recall themselves. It depends upon their IQ. But how we have to do this? We have to compare the characteristics of the students also. This is to development 2. For comparing countries, their income is considered to be the one of the most important attributes. Countries with higher income are more developed than other with less income. This is based on the understanding that more income means more of all things that human beings need. Whatever people like and should have, they will be able to get with greater income. So, greater income itself is considered to be an important goal. See, if we are comparing with the development of the other countries, first we will think about their income. See, if they are having more income, those countries are developed than the less income countries. Is it clear? I am repeating you, those who are having very good income, those countries are considered as developed countries. In those countries, they are given less income. They are getting less income from that. That is considered as underdeveloped countries. This is based on the understanding that more income means more of all things that human beings are needed. More income means what are the things the human beings is needed, that everything is available in that country. That is the reason that country will become rich. And they will be able to get greater income also. Simple example, I am give you America. Our children, engineering students and doctors, they can do their work here itself, right? Why they want to go there? Because they will get more income there. First they will think that to earn money, right? Our aim is to get money only, no doubt about that. Instead, dedication should be there. There is also, in that also there is no doubt. But in their countries, in the developed countries, they will get good income as well as they will get good position also there. Even in India they will get, but their income is little less compared to those areas. That is the reason people, those who are getting more income, all the things, the human beings, what they need, that they will get it. That is the reason the income itself is considered to be the important of the goal. Income is very important to reach the goal. Now, what is the income of a country? Initiatively, the income of the country is the income of all the residents of the country. This gives us the total income of the country. However, for comparison between countries, total income is not such an useful measure. Since countries have different populations, comparing total income will not tell us what an average person is likely to earn. Are people in one country better off than other different country? Hence, we compare the average income, which is the total income of the country divided by this total population. The average income is also called per capita income. Is it clear? So, what they are explaining here is income of a country, initiatively, the income of the country is all the residents of the country. That means all the residents of the country, how much income they are getting. That is very important. this gives the total income of the country. How many educateds, how many are working, how many are unemployed, how many are employed, how many are business people, how many are the industrialists. All these things will accountable for the development of the nation. The comparison between the countries, the total income is not such useful measure. Only the total income of the people, those who are, that will not a good measure for that. Other than that, countries, they have different population. See, compared to America, our population is huge. Right? 130 crores, our population. So, American population is less. So, that also is one of the factor for the development of the nation. And the total income will tell as the average person is likely to earn. See, what is the total income of the nation? So that will give the average income of the person also. So these are all the things we have to think of the development of the nation. And compared to the average income, which is total income of the country divided by this total population. Total income of the country, 130 crores we have now. How many people are there? 35 crores people are there in India. So what is their income? Understood? What is their income? That country income is divided by its population. What about the country's income? That will be divided by the population. How much population is there in a country? That will be divided. This is called as the per capita income. Understood? In the World Development Reports brought out by the World Bank, this criteria is used to classifying countries with per capita income of US's 12,236 per annum and above 2016 are called rich countries, and those with per capita income of rupees US dollars 1,005 or less are called low income. See what the World Development Reports they have taken now. According to the World Bank, the criteria is to classify the countries. What criteria they are using is the income of the nation. They were calculated with the dollars. See, the country with per capita income of US dollars, that is 12,236 per annum, that is above in 2016 are called rich countries. Their total income is $12,236 US dollars. So what happened that they can divide, they can say that they can take the criteria of the income first. So then if the US 1,005 are less are called the low income countries. India income in the category of low middle income countries because its per capita income is in 2016 was just 1,840 per annum US dollars per annum. How much should be there? 12,236. Right, it is a developed country. If the low, medium or low developing countries are, they are getting only India in 2016. Our per capita income is just 1,840 US dollars. So we are in the middle of the position. We are not so rich, we are not so poor. So the rich countries, excluding countries of Middle East and certain other small countries, are generally called developed countries. Rich countries and other East and certain other countries, generally they are. See, in World Development Reports brought out by the World Bank, this criterion is used in classifying countries. Countries with per capita income of US dollars 12,236 per annum and above in 2016 are called rich countries, and those with per capita income of US dollars 1,005 or less are called low income countries. Understood? See, according to the World Bank report, what they have given to us, if the country is having US dollars of 12,236, more than that if the country is having per capita income per annum, those countries are considered as rich countries. Is it clear? If the country is having 1005 US dollars or less than 1005, those countries are considered as poor countries. So India's per capita income is 1840 per annum. 1840 US dollars per annum. So India is in the middle. Understood? Middle income or middle middle income countries. That is, our country is not less than 1005 or not more than 12,236. That is the reason India is considered in 2016 the middle income category countries. Understood? Middle income category countries. So while they are calculating these things, they are considers that the East and Middle East and certain other small countries are generally called developed countries because their per capita income is more than $12,236 per annum, US dollars per annum. Is it clear? Now, we move on to the average income. While average income are useful for comparison, they also hide disparities. For example, here they have given one table. In this table, what they have given is country A and B. Country A is having 1%, only they are comparing with the 5 persons. Just you imagine, only 5 persons are there in one country and 5 persons are there in B country. That is A and B. In A country, the first person is getting 9,500, 10,000 is second, 10,500 for second person, and third is 9,800, and fourth is 10,000, again fifth is 10,200. So the average one. If you take the country B, all persons are getting 500, 500, 500 per month. But only one person is getting 48,000. So how we can compare these two countries? Where we want to live? First we will think about the B. Because everybody is poor there. Only one person is rich. If you want to go to that country, you are not accepting for B. You are preferring for A. Why you are prefer for that? Because gradually they are increasing their income. Here everybody is getting low, but only one person is getting rich. That means we cannot say that B country is poor. But the average income is useful for the comparison. It does not tell how the income is distributed among the people. So everybody is not getting equal income there. 4 are getting very less. Only one person will be getting more income. That is the reason country depends upon the per capita income for their development. Is it clear? Next, we move on to the income and other criteria. See, when we look to the individual aspirations and goals, we found that the people not only think of better income but also have goals such as security, respect for others, equal treatment, freedom, etc. See, individual aspiration and goals, if we are seeing for them, we cannot find the people not only think about their better income. They also have some goals. They need some good security and they want respect for others and equal treatment they need. They need freedom. Everything they are expecting with their goals also. So when we think of a nation or a region, we may besides average income think of other equally important attributes. See, if we are thinking about our region, we may think besides average income. We are thinking about the average income also. It is equally important attributes for us. So what could be these attributes be is, let us examine this through an example of table 1.3. See, in 1.3 they have given 3 states they have given. Their per capita income also they have given in 2015 and 16. So Haryana's per capita income is 1,62,034 and Kerala 1,55,560. In Bihar 34,168. See, let us ignore what the complicated term exactly means. Roughly we can take to be the per capita income of these states. We find that of 3, Haryana has the highest per capita income and Bihar is the bottom in this means. Is it because Bihar get only 34,168 for the per capita income? A person in Bihar earned only 34,168 per month. Okay, 34,000 per annum. So if a person per capita income were to be used as the measure of the development. So Haryana will be considered the most developed and Bihar least developed state among these three states. Now let us do certain data pertaining to these states given below in the 1.4. In 1.4 they have given some of the data here. See, in comparative data on Haryana, Kerala and Bihar. See, in Haryana, infant mortality rate per thousand live births is, and the literacy rate and the net attendance ratio for secondary stage, that is 14 to 15 years of age children. See here what they have given is the survey of 2016 and 17. The Government of India survey, this is the sample survey of 3 states they have given. See, in infant mortality rate is, see in this Haryana, the children below 1 year, they used to die. Out of 1,000 children, 36 child used to die. Understood? In Kerala, that is only 12 children used to die. And in Bihar, 42. The mortality rate is high in Bihar, and Haryana is average and Kerala is very less. Out of 1,000 children, only 12 children used to die before the age of 1 year, before the birthday of their 1 year. So if you take the literacy rate, see literacy, Haryana percentage they have taken 100, out of 100, 82% of the people were educated, and Kerala 94% and Bihar is just 62%. The net attendance ratio is below 14 to 15 years children, that is almost high school children. So in Haryana 61 children were there out of 100, and Kerala 83 children are going for the school, and in Bihar only 43 children are going for the school. See, net attendance ratio is the total number of children of age group of 14 and 15 years attending the school percentage of total number of children in the same age group. See, in the same age group, if 100 children are there means only 43 are going in Bihar, 61 are going in Haryana, and 83 is going in the Kerala. So what does this table show is, the first column of the table shows that the Kerala out of 1,000 children born, the 12 I told you already. In the same way, it is just 3 times of this Kerala that I explained you already. And next, if you move on to the, now try to think of the parents whose children did before the age of celebrating the first birthday, how painful it must be for the parents, right? If the child is very good, always the parents are depending on the children only. As soon as they born, they were enjoying with their life. Before 1 year, if the child dies, how the parents will feel, right? So next, note the year to which this data pertains. It is 2015, not now. It was in the 2015. So we are not talking of old times. It is nearly 70 years after independence, when our metro cities are full of high-rise buildings and shopping malls. How is it that the average person in Haryana has more income than the average person in Kerala but lags behind these crucial areas? The reason is money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services that you may need to live well. See, after 70 years of our independence, we are struggling to get the independence. We got the independence in the year 1947, no doubt about that. After that, we cannot compare these datas, either the Kerala or the Bihar or the Haryana. See, we are in a crucial stage. So that is the reason we can say that money is in your pocket cannot buy all the goods. So income by itself is not a completely adequate indicator of the development. If the money is there, everything we cannot buy that one. For example, normally your money cannot buy the pollution-free environment. If I have everything, I want to live there, it is not possible. You want to live you will get some less income. So we cannot buy the environment through the money. And see, unadulterated medicines, unless you can offer a shift to a community that already has all these things. Money may also not be able to protect you from the infectional diseases unless the whole your community takes prevention steps. See, if we are living in the Bangalore, what we are now, we know that we are suffering from, many people are suffering from corona, right? So what we people are thinking, why the people are coming out of the houses, why they want to go for market to buy the things. They can buy it in front of their houses, right? People are not listening all those. Everybody has to follow the rules to prevent this disease. But if everybody is not following that, how it is possible to prevent? What steps we can take for that? It is not so easy. That is the reason these type of things we cannot buy through the money. The problem does not end with infant mortality rate. The last column table shows that around half of the children, that I told you already, half of the children, that is 43 children are going to school out of 100 at the age of 14 to 15. That is almost 8 standard children. They are extremely, elementary class would be missing. They are missing their classes. Those who could have been in school are not there. If this had happened to you, you would not be able to read for the what you are reading now. See, in 2015 data they are telling, at the time the people, the many and 43% only they are going to the school. If this will happen, how the people will become illiterates? How they become literates, right? Then the literacy rate will little bit less only. Actually, for many of the important things in life is the best way, also the cheapest way is to provide these goods and services collectively. Just think, will it be cheaper to have collective security for the whole locality or for each house to have its own security man? What if no one other than you in your village or locality is interested in studying? Would you be able to study? Not unless your parents could offer to send you to some private schools elsewhere. See, actually, for many of the important things in the life, the best way is, the cheapest way it is providing these goods and services collectively. But is it a cheaper way? Collective things, it is not cheaper. So that locality or each houses have its own security man. Is it possible? It is not possible. One man cannot looking after the whole locality also. That is the reason nowadays we can see the securities in the apartments. Right? So would we be able to study? For example, what if you no one other than you in your village or locality is interested on studying? If no one is interesting, so what you will do for them? So would be able to study? Not unless your parents could offer to go for the private schools. If the parents are offering you, or they are in, if the schools are in affordable cost, they are sending you to the other schools. So you are actually able to study because many other children also want to study, and because many people believe that the government should open schools for provide other facilities so that all children have a chance to study. See, many are not getting a chance to study because the schools are not in the affordable cost. So what the people were thinking that if the government is providing all the facilities to all the children, definitely particularly the girls, they are not able to go to the high school. In many of the families, they are not sending the girl's child to the school. So if the government will provide everything, the society has provided adequate facilities to the children, definitely people may go to the school. The children may go to the school. The parents may send them to the school. This will happen when the government has to take the proper steps for them to sending the school. Kerala has a low infant mortality rate because it has adequate provision of basic health and educational facilities. Similarly, in some states, the public distribution system, that is PDS, functions well. Health and nutritional status of people of such state is certainly likely to be better. Why Kerala the mortality rate is less is they have a very good provision of basic health and educational facilities. That is the reason in Kerala they have literacy people also more, mortality rate is also very less. Right? So because they have a good facilities, health facilities is there and basic facilities are there. Similarly, they have good schools in the state. So public distribution system, if it functions well, all the states certainly likely to be better. If in all the states the facilities will be provided equally and distributed very equally, it functions well, PDS will functions well, definitely all the countries become the developed countries or states. Is it clear? Tomorrow we will continue with sustainability of development. Okay, so another one page is there. Today it is already 30 minutes is over. That's the reason I stopped this lesson. Tomorrow, for the next class, I will continue this lesson and again I will start the new lesson in the civics. Okay. Thank you, children.